Hey guys, Lindsay here. Welcome back to my channel and to this week's Throwback Thursday video. So for this week, I thought we would do another ColourPop palette. This one is the My Little Pony palette. Now I know this one is no longer for sale on ColourPop's website, but I did have a couple of requests for it in my palette collection video, so I figured why not? They're honestly pretty basic colors. You probably could get most of these colors in ColourPop singles because they have so many at this point. So yeah, I'm sure like if you're wanting to recreate whatever look I end up coming up with, you probably could still do it with ColourPop shadows. So let me zoom you in and we'll go ahead and get started. So it's been a while since I've grabbed this palette, and opening it up, I immediately see one of the things that kind of irritated me about this palette and pretty much many of the palettes recently is the lack of matte shades, and it's really starting to drive me crazy. So pretty much again, I'm stuck with this light shade right here, this shade right here, and then these two over here. And I really dislike that because I feel like the mattes really drive your look. I mean, there's no rule that says you can't put a shimmer in your crease, but I personally don't like to put a shimmer in my crease. I will avoid it if at all possible, especially because of just the way that my eyes are shaped, because I have very large eyes and I have like a good bit of like texture to my lid. So I feel like the shimmer just makes that stand out. So I try to avoid it. I'm trying to decide what I want to do that would also be different from what I've already done. However, you know, it's like when you go back and look at some of your old photos, you can just kind of see the improvement in your own personal skills. So I think even if I recreated a look that I did before, it probably would look totally different now. So let's just go ahead and start, and we'll just kind of grab colors as they appeal to me. I do think I want the crease to be a softer blend, so I am gonna start out with the lighter peachy shade. And I'm just gonna kind of work this right onto the brow area of the crease, like kind of like just above the crease. Because I did leave my primer tacky, so this will basically set the primer in that little area. And then kind of flare it out a bit. This is a really fluffy brush I'm using also. This just kind of helps with that diffused look I'm going for. So next up, I'm gonna jump into this shade right here. I'm gonna keep using the same brush to keep it lighter. Okay, I totally forgot these have names on the back, but quite honestly, I always confuse myself with ColourPop palettes. Like, is it supposed to be the one directly behind it, or is it supposed to coincide with the opposite one? So I'm just gonna point to them and show you guys which one I'm using. So we're just gonna kind of deepen this up a little bit. We're still keeping it very light. So I'm just barely dragging any product on the inner portion. I'm just mostly keeping it outward. And then I'm gonna dip back into the original shade that I used, this light peachy color, once more, just to kind of go over the mostly the inner part, but then drag it across just to blend the two colors together a bit better and keep it nice and bright. It's a really pretty color combination. I do want to deepen up the outer corner a bit, so I'm going to jump into this shade right here with kind of a dense fluffy brush, and I'm just going to kind of stamp it. And then with circular motions kind of blend it into this outer portion. I'm gonna kind of softly blend the color away, kind of blend it into the center very, very lightly, just so it kind of trails off. And then once more with the fluffier brush back into this shade right here, just to kind of lightly go over the crease area. Okay, all right, so I just did a little quick swatch on my hand of the shades. I think what I'm gonna do is pop this shade like right on top of it, like in the middle, and then I'm gonna do the brighter white maybe on the inner part. Actually, I think I might go with this one. So, all right, I'll show you on the palette. So I'm first gonna take this one right here and kind of pop that in the center so that it meets up with the matte shade. So it's a nice little blend. And you guys know I kind of like to do little diagonals. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a brush to wet it because I know I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna take this bottom shade right here. This one is a really interesting like icy white blue type of color. And I'm gonna pop that on the inner portion of the lid. And I'm gonna try to make it kind of crisp where it meets the crease, so it kind of looks like we did a cut crease, but we didn't use any concealer. Then with that same brush, I'm just gonna clean it off, flip it over, spritz it, and go into the first shade that we used, this one right here, just so that I can get it a little bit more crisp at the crease area. And this also really brightens up the shade. I mean, you know, anytime you spray a brush to use a shimmer, it's just gonna really intensify it. And this will also allow me to blend it a bit better into the icy white blue shade. All right, and then last step, we'll be taking that kind of fluffy, dense brush, going into the deep pink matte shade, or pinky purple matte shade, and just blending this outer portion again. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. For the inner corner, I might just use that icy white blue shade right there, but for now, I'm gonna try this one. I don't think that's gonna show up at all. Yeah, I think I'm better off just sticking with the icy white blue shade. So I'm just gonna pop that on the inner corner. And I'm gonna try to keep it concentrated. I know I say that a lot lately, but I usually end up going back and changing it because I don't like the way it looks. But for now, we're gonna leave it alone. For the lower lash line, I think I'm gonna do, I really don't wanna bring in the blue. I think I'm gonna do this dark purple shade. I'm gonna spray it so that it avoids getting fallout. And just line the lower lash line. And then for a little brightness on the inner portion of the lower lash line, I'm gonna use this purple shimmer shade right here, and again, spray it. Also so that it'll really stand out. Just pop that into that little inner portion, and then overlap the darker color. Not as bright as I thought it was gonna be. And then just to tie everything in, I'm gonna jump into this kind of medium pink shade with my pencil brush and just kind of buff that underneath. So I am kind of going over the deeper shade with this, which is causing it to kind of buff away a little bit. So I am gonna jump back into that, but I'm just gonna use the pencil brush just to get a little bit on the brush and kind of softly re-intensify that line, but also keeping it a little bit smoky. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I do think I am gonna leave the inner corner alone. I think I'm pretty happy with it. I think just because the rest of it's nice and bright and pretty and pink, I like the way it looks. So I'm just gonna add, let's see, liner. I think for liner, I'm gonna use this one, which is No Shade from ColourPop. Kind of dark purple shade. And I don't really think I wanna do liner. I kind of think I want to just leave it alone. I do think I'll add a little bit of lashes. I'll probably just do the Ardell Wispies again, just because I feel like those are the best your lashes but better type of look. They look fairly natural. I feel like the band is easy to hide and it really just makes my lashes look like they're more intense. So I'm gonna do some mascara and lashes real quick and then we will pick out a lip. Okay, to finish this look up, I figure it's only fitting to use another item from the My Little Pony ColourPop collection. I think this was the only one that I picked up though. This is Ponyland, one of the lip glosses, but it's this really pretty like shimmery purple. All right, so this is the finished look. Definitely happy with the way this turned out. I really do love those kind of like pinky, mauvey, peach matte tones that they have in the palette. Of course, I still wish there were some other matte tones in there, but they really are beautiful. And that ColourPop formula, like their mattes, they always blend so beautifully. So definitely like this look, and I still love this gloss. This is one of my favorite ColourPop glosses, I think. So that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any requests for next week's throwback video, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, because I'm like at that point where I've only got the palettes that people commented like once or twice on, so it's kind of a free-for-all at this point. So if you have one that you're dying to see, let me know and I'll do that for next week's video. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video, which I am planning to have for Saturday. I should have a Saturday and a Sunday video this week. So that's all. See you then. Bye guys.